Welcome to TRL Radio with your hosts, Eric and Michelle Hall.
Your average Joe experts in simplified health. Welcome back to TRL Radio. We are your hosts, Eric and Michelle Hall. And as we're recording today, it is just after Valentine's Day.
Aw.
Yeah, yep. Some would say Hallmark holiday.
Right. True story.
Meaning that not a real holiday. It's just to
It's
sell,
a holiday.
It's just to sell the cards.
The cards, the candy, and the flowers. But hey, bring on the candy and the flowers.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
There's also Sweetest Day, right?
Yeah,
I think
like,
Sweetest Day actually is a Hallmark holiday.
Right. That's
Like-
just made up crap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what is the difference there? I don't even know when Sweetest Day is.
I don't know if I do either. But anyway, happy Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
exactly. Happy Valentine's Day. We're not anti-Valentine's Day
No,
here.
we love it.
No, and wait, with that though, we figured that today would be a great time to talk about relationships. Obviously, Valentine's Day, there's a focus on specifically romantic relationships, and relationships can be hard. Yeah. It's something that's part of our everyday, whether it be work relationships, whether it be marriage, dating, parent-child relationships, or something that is part of every single thing we do. But a lot of times what we learn from relationships is what we've seen. And a lot of times what we see isn't great.
Right.
And so today we're like, hey, like, not that we're like some kind of like relationship savants, but we've been married for
25 years.
25 years, just 25 years.
Just over 25 years to celebrate our anniversary.
Yep.
We have 4 kids, and after 25 years and 4 kids, we still like being around each other.
Yeah.
So we're obviously doing something right.
Right. Yeah. Not to be dumb or cheesy, but honestly, like, one of the things I truly believe, and I say it all the time, is that there's nothing that I do that you don't make better. I go golfing, I'll be thinking, hey, it'd be great if Michelle was here.
Even though I will be terrible at it.
That's okay. We'll have fun.
We'll have
laugh.
fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, not that we're experts, but we figured, hey, it'd be a great time to talk about relationships. Some of the things that we try to focus on to make sure that our relationship is solid. But as we go through this, these relationship tips, I guess, aren't specifically, or I guess just segmented just for romantic relationships.
Right.
Like, these things you can implement into any relationship you have, and it will immediately make it better.
Absolutely. And okay, so we're going to talk about relationships. Cool. Like, this is a health podcast. Like, you're probably asking, so what does that have to do with health? And that's a valid question.
For sure.
But yeah, believe it or not, relationships are the single most influential decider of longevity. So what does that mean? It means people that have good, solid relationships tend to not only live longer, but live longer, happier,
Yep.
quality lives. So yeah, that plays into your health, right?
Yeah. One of the longest studies ever, we've talked about it on a few podcast episodes now, done by Harvard. Like, the one thing they tied to longevity and living happy, long lives is not is not exercise. It's not nutrition. Not that those things aren't important, but it's the quality of your relationship. So yeah, relationships are directly tied to health.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, that's where it comes, that's where we were like, well, let's talk about that. So today we're going to literally talk about 3 elements that will immediately up-level any relationship. Again, not just romantic, but any relationship. 3 elements that will immediately up-level it. And the first one?
Hearing is often better than being heard.
All right, so say it again, because that sounds really cool, but maybe you missed it. So say it again.
Hearing is often better than being heard. Now, what you don't hear us saying right now is that it's not important for you to be heard.
Correct.
Right? We're not saying your voice doesn't matter, your opinion doesn't matter. That is 100% not what we are saying. Yes, what you have to say matters, and you deserve to be heard. And the things that you think and say are valid and important. So please do not misunderstand us when we say hearing is often better than being heard. What we are saying, though, is these next few things. How amazing would it be if we focused more on hearing than speaking?
Yeah, well,
right?
think about that. Like, if every person on the planet was focused on hearing as opposed to being heard, then everyone would be heard.
Right.
The opposite is not true. If everyone focused on just being heard, then nobody hears.
Right.
So that only works one way. And so what we're saying here for the first point is to focus on hearing as opposed to being heard. Now, we're not saying, like you said, don't be heard. There's only one you. Your experiences and your ideas, nobody else has them. If you're out there, you're a twin, you're a triplet. No one has the same experience as you, has the exact same beliefs as you. Your voice is important, like you just said. We got to have it. But man, if we just focus on listening, So with that,
What does listening
exactly
actually mean? What does it entail? So like, okay, does listening just mean, okay, well, just talk and I'll just sit here
right.
and go?
That's what people think, right? Listening, like you think, oh, it's a simple thing. You just be quiet. That's part of it, but there's other parts. So before we talk about what listening is, let's talk about some of the things that listening is not.
Right.
And the first one, and I'll take this one because it can tend to be more, I guess people say it can tend to be more masculine oriented as something that males do as opposed to females. But I would say if so, it's slightly.
Right.
Slightly.
Women struggle with this as well.
Yeah. And what is it? So it's listening doesn't always equal fixing. Now, notice the wording there. Doesn't always equal fixing. Now, again, it's tend to look at more like a male issue, right? That you have a problem, you're sharing with me. In my mind, I stop listening to whatever words are coming out of your mouth because I'm immediately thinking,
how can I make this better?
Yep.
I'm going to fix this problem for her. And here's the thing. You're doing it with the best of intentions most of the time. It's not like, oh my gosh, this idiot, she can't get her crap together. I got you. Don't worry. It's like, oh, my wife is struggling with something and I'm hearing it and I just want to make it better for her.
Right.
It's not necessarily you're doing out of malicious intent. Your intentions are good, but at the same time, there's moments where you just want to be heard. You just need to vent, whether, if it's something bad that happened, like, hey, I don't need you to fix this. Can you just listen to me and then say, yeah, that sucks. Like sometimes you just need someone to say that and that's okay.
yeah,
There are times when one of us will come to another and be like, hey, I have this problem. I need to talk about it. Can you help me, please?
Right.
Like, I need your input here. I don't know what to do. We've had our kids come to us with that. Like, hey, this is happening with this friend or this situation, whatever. I don't know what to do, guys. Cool. That's an opportunity for you to share. Still listen all the way.
right.
Don't already start thinking about what you want to say before you've heard the whole story. But at the same time, that's an opportunity for you to give your input.
Yeah. So one of the things that like we've implemented, and actually both of us have, I usually do this more than you just because I can tend to be the fixer, is to ask when you're coming with a problem, with a vent, with a complaint or whatever is, hey, so right now, are you wanting me to just listen? Or are you wanting me to try to fix this or come up with a solution? And that might sound super simple, like, wow, what a dumb question. But it honestly has helped avoid arguments, has avoided me not hearing, and it lets me know what you're looking for, right? And maybe right now I'm a listener, and then in 30 minutes it's more of a fixer because you're like, as we talk through it, but right now I just know you just want to listen. You just want someone to listen to you. So, yep. It's just hearing. So that's a great question to implement, again, in any relationship. Like obviously it works great in a marriage, dating relationship, but like you already mentioned, even with our kids, like, our kids are older, right? Obviously if you have your, 4 or 5-year-old, I'm guessing it's probably a little bit different. You don't need to ask your 5-year-old. So do you want me just to listen to you or do you want me to fix this? Right. Obviously a little bit different. As your kids become adults and you're kind of more part of their, I guess, advisory council as they're making decisions, like, okay, do you want me just to listen now or are you looking for help? Right. That's always a good question to ask.
And especially with kids, I feel like if you establish that, as they get older, your kids will want to come to you then, because they're going to know, okay, I can go to mom and dad, and they're not just going to try and fix everything and
Right.
make it better. Like, they'll actually hear the words that I'm saying. I mean, as adults, we want that, right? How much more as kids who I feel like in this world we live in really aren't heard that often, right? Like, oh, they're kids. We don't need to just sit and be quiet. Kids are meant to be seen and not heard. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Why do you know what I mean? We should not think that. Like, kids are a part of our society. Their opinions matter as well. We want them to be heard. We want them to know that they're being listened to. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm better for listening to our kids.
Right.
I've learned much from them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, too, like you were just saying this, and like having that type of like relationship. We said not only does it like foster, hey, I can come with anything, but like with that anything, even if there's not a solution there. So I might have a problem at work that I know, nothing against you, but you don't work where I work. Then you can't fix it.
Yeah.
If I know you're always going to be a fixer, like this could be a problem where I'm like, I'm not even going to share this with her because she's going to immediately want to try to fix it, and she can't.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know that like, oh, you also are a listener, like I can come home and vent about something that I know you will not be able to fix. And I'll just be like, okay, I feel a little bit better now, right? So it helps foster that too, just helps foster open communication, right? Of that simple question of like, you want me to listen or you want me to fix this?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
but yeah, so something else listening is not.
It's not just sitting there quiet when someone else talks, right? Like, yes, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you've probably heard it said, right? We should listen twice as much as we speak. But like, what does that look like? It's not just sitting there in silence and nodding your head, like,
Right. I mean, you've been there before, right? Or the person, like, you're looking at them and you're like, okay, like,
your eyes are glazed over.
yeah,
like, you're not actually.
You're being quiet, but do you actually hear me? So
Right.
there's actually participation in good listening.
Right.
It's not a passive activity. It is active.
Yeah.
And so we talked about 2 things that really, it's not just sitting there. It's not always trying to fix, but listening is active.
Yeah.
It's doing something. It's being engaged. Give the progressive commercial.
so okay,
one.
right.
As of a recording, this is a commercial that we've seen a bunch, right?
Right. The progressive commercial where, and I actually did not remember the guy's name, but you did.
Teddy Bridgewater,
Okay.
yep.
So this girl is sitting in a cafe with her friend, and she's trying to explain to her friend this situation she's in with her boyfriend where she's just struggling and wants advice.
And I'll be the friend. The friend is like
and
this,
the friend is sitting
on a phone,
on her.
not just messing with her fingers,
Yeah,
but like
she's
on a phone.
sitting on her phone, and she's like, "Oh yeah," and she like shares this. Yeah, I don't know what to do. He did this, and she's like, "Oh wow, that's great." And she's like, "Yeah, you're not paying any attention whatsoever." She's like, "Okay, Teddy Bridgewater, come on in." So they substitute who is a backup quarterback, right?
He was backup quarterback, and now he's a backup listener.
Yeah, he's the backup listener. So he comes in. And you can tell by his posture the second he sits in that chair that he is actively listening. He leans forward, he, folds his hands and puts rests his chin on his hands, and he's like, okay, go. And he's making eye contact, and he's listening. And then when she does ask a question, he drops like this amazing, like, wealth of knowledge bomb, like that's this perfect, I can't remember. He says something about like, you're not a mechanic, you can't fix it. And she's like, oh, you're right. He was actively listening. And then when he was called on for advice, he had actual good information to give her. And I was like, that's how we're supposed to listen, right? Not being distracted, not being on our cell phone, not watching TV. Like, nope, we're going to make eye contact, and I'm hearing the words you're saying, and maybe I'm formulating some ideas, but I'm not so focused on that I'm not actually hearing what you're saying.
Right.
But then when you are called upon, like, hey, so what would you do? Okay, I've listened. I've formulated an answer. Here's what I got for you.
Right.
What do you think?
It's a perfect example of good listening. Like you said, everything from leaning in. Or from the leaning in to cell phone is not in sight. It's not like he takes his cell phone and puts it on the table. Like
He doesn't have it with
right,
him.
doesn't you don't know if it's in his pocket or whatever. Like he's totally involved, right? So you can tell, and again, this is a goofy example from a commercial, but you can tell right out of the gate, this guy is listening. So shout out to Teddy Bridgewater. I hope that's actually how you listen.
Right.
Great example for all of us. And with that active listening. We already just mentioned like he's not distracted. So part of listening is, yes, you're actively listening and you're also not distracted. So that means if you're actually listening yourself, you're not listening through a cell phone. Like you're not texting, checking the gram, whatever, as someone's having a conversation with you.
And
Like,
we've all been there before, where someone comes to you and you're in the middle of watching a show, or you're, on your cell phone and you don't put it away and you're like, gosh, I have no idea what they just
right.
said.
I've done a bunch of times where I've been like, okay, babe,
Start
like,
over.
I got to be honest with you. Like I was on Instagram. I can't think of what you even just said. Can you start over? And I've been there, right?
Yep.
And I apologize. I'm like, that was rude. Sorry.
Yeah. And so that's, I think, part two, like on the person who wants to speak. If I'm coming to you with something important, let me make sure I'm coming to you at a time where I do have your attention, right? Like if it's like, oh, babe, what do you want for dinner tonight? And you're watching TV and I give you two, I like, okay, I think we can multitask
Right.
that,
I don't need to put my cell phone down and really be Teddy Bridgewater and get engaged. And like,
yeah. But like if it's something like, hey, I really need to talk to you about this. Like, can I have your time? Okay, so maybe during like the Super Bowl is not the best time, especially if the Buffalo Bills, as we're in Bills country, go
Right.
Bills.
Bills.
They make the Super Bowl and I'm like, hey babe, it's time for us to have this really deep heart to heart. For one, I don't want to have a heart to heart because I'm going to be watching the game as well. But I know no matter what I do, even if I'm like, hey, we need to go to a separate room, your mind is on that game. You're going to hear people cheer and wonder, oh, what just happened?
Right.
What am I missing? I need to understand the best time to approach you with something, right? And there's going to be times where whatever needs to be said can't wait.
Right.
If it's an emergency or something.
Oh my gosh.
And that's where it's like,
well, that's where you know your person, right? Like if we're watching the Super Bowl and you're coming up and you're like, babe, we got to talk. Like, I know that's important. It's not going to be, babe, we got to talk. Hey, what do we want to have for snack at halftime? I've been like, what?
yeah.
Like,
I was thinking I want to repaint our bedroom. What color should we go
yeah.
with?
I'd be like, are you serious right now? This is not the best time for this, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Christmas movie, Four Christmases. Yeah, with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. Great Christmas movie, by the way. But a whole bunch of shenanigans. But at the end, Vince and Reese are talking, and they're talking about having good communication about changes or things they want in life or whatever. And Vince Vaughn, in his Vince Vaughn way, looks at Reese Witherspoon and is like, hey, and I want to be the one that hears when you want to have a difficult conversation. I want to listen. I want to be the one that you're talking to, but like probably not during like a playoff game or something like that. And he's like, just kidding, but not really.
But not really. Pick your moments.
Yeah. Like it's like, but
it's
true.
honest.
Yeah,
it's being honest and saying, hey, you know me and I know you. I'm not going to be paying attention, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just that open communication, knowing the person that you're talking with. Like, yeah, obviously we use a lot of TV references and movie references. You can tell that we like TV and movies.
Well, I don't know there's anything that Vince Vaughn's in that I don't like. I mean, I can't say he's my favorite actor, but like every movie he's in is so good. The Nona's movie even, right? That was recently came out. It was a good one, right? It was a good one. Anyhow, yeah, so we like TV, like movies. Really hits home for us, apparently.
It does, yeah. It hits all the feels, all the things.
So along with, okay, so we said active, not being distracted when you listen, also of listening with intention.
Right.
So by that, what do we mean? So as you listen, you're able to, when the person is done talking, you're able to clearly explain the other person's point of view. Whether you agree with it or not, that's not in question.
Right.
Can you clearly explain what they just said, where they're coming from? Can you understand that? Could you explain it back to them? That's listening with intention.
Right. And if you can't, you need to ask some questions. Wait. This is what I heard you say. Is that correct? And if they're like, oh, no, that's not what I said. Okay, explain it again, please.
That's a great question to ask, right? Okay, here's what I hear. This is what I think I hear you saying. Da, 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 da. Okay, yep, close, but here's actually what I'm saying. And
that can be a world of difference in how you interpret what, like actually hearing what they're saying and not what you think they're saying.
I mean, this is why people forget names, right? Like immediately after you introduce yourself to somebody, hi, my name is da-da-da-da. Well, my name is da-da-da-da. You're not listening with intention when they say their name because you're just kind of going through this formality of greeting, right? Maybe it's not necessarily because you're wanting to say your own name, but like...
Maybe you're focused on, oh, I like their outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder, like, you just get distracted, right? Like,
Right,
you're
there's
just not
not
focusing
intention.
on the actual words that are coming out of my mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Another movie reference.
Yep.
Rush Hour.
Rush hour.
Rush Hour. But yeah, so listen with intention, right? Hear the words they're saying.
Absolutely.
Be able to articulate them back. A little side note is that if you can try to use the person you just met, if you want to memorize their name, try to use it twice while you're talking to them, right? So they'll be like, okay, hey, introduce yourself. Hi.
Hi, my name is Michelle.
Oh, hi, Michelle. My name is Eric. Don't just be like, oh, hi, my name is Eric. So I've already used it once. And then as we talk, oh, great. Hey, yeah, I love you. Oh, you're so hot. We should get married. Okay. Hey, Michelle. Great talking to you. Great meeting you.
Right.
You used it twice. That'll help. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but that will help in remembering their name, right?
Absolutely.
So,
just side note.
Yeah,
Just little
just kind of a little side note.
free tip.
Yeah.
Also, with this intention, right? We talked about understanding their opinion, being able to articulate it back to them. If we go into a conversation being willing to have our opinion changed, understanding that, oh, we hold this opinion, maybe we're wrong. You know, if it's a confrontational kind of conversation, someone comes to you and they're like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This, maybe you're wrong. Maybe it's okay.
Shocker of the century. Maybe you're wrong.
Right. Maybe your opinion needs to be changed. Obviously, everyone has core beliefs and values that, like, there's hills that you'll die on, and that's okay. You can choose those wisely. Every opinion you have is not a hill you should die on. If it is, you need to rethink your hills. I'm just sorry. Like, you need to rethink your opinions. But if you can go into a conversation saying, you know what, I'm willing to admit that I could be wrong here. Let me, and it's not a dare, like, oh, yeah, see if you can change my mind. But like, oh, maybe their opinion is right. And maybe you can still walk away with differing opinions and you're like, yeah, I don't agree with you, but I can understand why you would think that.
Yep. And you were heard and they were heard.
Yep.
Right. And so that's
successful conversation.
Exactly. Like, you can agree to disagree. That's fine. Yeah. Like, you do not have to have the same opinions, but man, can you articulate their opinion back to them, what they're saying? And did you listen with the intent or with the potential of, like, this may alter my opinion a little bit. This may change what I think. We don't got to stick so close to our opinions. Like I said, there's few things that we need to die on. Everything else is kind of open to negotiation. That's okay. It makes us better. Those are a lot of the things that our kids have helped us with. They share their opinions, and I've been so stark on what I think is right. And then they say something, and I'm like, oh, dang, I never thought of it that way. And it's helped make me a better, not only father and husband, but just a better person. Because I'm like, that is a perspective I didn't think about. As opposed to being like, oh, you dumb kid, what are you going to teach me? I know everything, right? So anyhow.
With that kind of leads into the next one of being able to admit that you're wrong.
Right.
But our next point is love is often better than being right. Loving is often better than being right.
Right. So again, don't hear what we're not saying. Sometimes being right has to be done. And it might come across unloving. You can be right in a loving way, but the other person still might think it's not loving because you're not agreeing with them, right? That's why I said we use the words love is often better than being right. There are absolutes that sometimes need to be fought for. You just said that, right? There are hills to die on. This is right. There is absolute truth. This is the truth. And anything outside of that is wrong. Doesn't mean you have to fight, and you can still walk away saying, okay, well, we're going to just agree to disagree here. Yeah. So we're not saying there is no truth. We're not saying that, like, love is always better than being right. No, sometimes, especially like if there's danger involved, right?
Right. If your kid comes to you and is like, hey, me and a bunch of my friends are going to, go buy some ski masks and rob a bank. You cool with that, Mom?
Well, love is better than being right.
Well, honey, I support you in whatever you decide. Like, no, you say, no, I don't know who these friends are, but we're not hanging out with them anymore. And you're like, you're stuck in this house for forever.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Kidding. But seriously, you talk with your kids. Like, this is an extreme. Hopefully that's not a conversation anyone has with their kids.
No, hopefully not.
It's an extreme. But there are situations like that where it's like, okay, I love you too much to let you go down this. Like, there is no good that can come from this situation. You are wrong. I am right. Okay, this is where we're at.
Right.
There's a lot fewer of those situations than I think any of us believe.
Yep.
we think there's a ton. There's really not. There's really not.
Right. It reminds me of that movie Inside Out. Again, another movie reference, Inside Out, where like, I can't remember the part of it, but to where like the opinions and the facts get mixed up at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, the opinions and facts get mixed up. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Those get mixed up all the time.
Right.
Right. Just poking fun at like us as a society that like we stick so close to our opinions that we think they're right, that we can't be loving because my opinion is the right one.
Yeah. And I need to change you to think that, like, no, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah. This might be a newsflash. This may be a shocker. It is possible to have differing viewpoints and you both be right.
Shocking.
Right? That may be, like full stop. I hope you heard that. You can have differing viewpoints and then both be right.
Yeah.
Like that's something that like in our day today, it's a big struggle because, and again, a lot of blame gets put on social media, and there could be a lot of good from social media. So I want to say that out of the gate, but there also can be a lot of bad with it as well. And the social media algorithms not only continue to feed you what you already believe, so it more staunchly puts you in your opinion, but not only is it your opinion, but also anyone who thinks differently than you, not only are they wrong, but they're dumb. Yeah. They're idiots. How could you ever think differently than me, you moron?
Right.
That is the opposite of what we're saying here. That's what we're saying, like, who cares who's right? Be love.
Yeah.
Social media can really, it has us hating the other side. Our devices can be divisive. Like they divide us, like because we're so stuck on everything we're getting fed. Anyone who thinks differently than me, not only are you wrong, but you're dumb. We got to stop with that.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing. We don't know what other people are going through. We have no idea why they believe what they believe and why they have differing opinions than us. Maybe if you were in their shoes, you would have a different opinion too.
They have experiences you don't have. Sorry,
right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say literally the same thing. Like they're going through things that maybe you've never gone through. And if you were going through them, your opinion would change. And so, and I'm not saying that all the time, but a lot of times that's what it is. Well, this is what makes sense to me. This is what's right because I've never been through that before. Well, but if you were, man, I wonder how your opinion would change.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And so that's going to require you being vulnerable. Like being love as opposed to being right is going to make you vulnerable. You're going to have a risk of being hurt. You're going to have a risk of being taken advantage of. Like, so there are risks. But on the flip side, you could also build some of the strongest, deepest relationships that you've ever had. Like even think about that with like your spouse, the person you're dating. If you feel like there's like a wall between you and them or like you and your kids or something, like, are you vulnerable?
Right.
Or are you just more interested in being right all the time?
Absolutely. I mean, I think about, so we have a family of 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you would think,
last time you checked.
Yeah, no more. You would think, oh, well, we were all, we raised our kids all in the same household, we're married. We probably have the same opinion on everything and everyone has the same personality and whatever. Well, if you have a family with more than one child, like, that's not the case. Right. For us, some of us have very different opinions on some pretty core things. But we've learned to live in a house together where we can live in a house together without extreme animosity and like we can thrive and we can feel heard and we can feel validated by the people who believe literally the opposite of us.
Right.
But we can still love each other.
Yep.
How is that possible? Well, because we're vulnerable with each other. Mm-hmm. We share. It's not like, we just keep everything bottled up inside. Well, I can't share with you because you believe different. And so that's how we're able to live together. Well, no. That's not living. That would not be living together. We share and know that we're accepted for whatever we believe, and that it's okay.
Yep. Yeah. And that's going to foster those conversations, those deep relationships, right? But you have to be vulnerable. If you always have to be right, you will live a lonely life.
Yeah. Good luck finding people who want to spend more than 5 minutes with you if you have to be the person in the room who is always correct.
Yep. No, people might fake it around you, but no one actually wants to be around you.
No. Think about, we always call it the well actually kid,
Yeah.
right? Where, I teach, I substitute teach, and, we've taught classes together with kids, and, the kid, you share a fact, or you share, even if it's not a story, well, actually, what they're saying here, oh my gosh, shut up, shut up, shut up. Like, I don't, put your well actually away, please.
Yeah.
And there are people who thrive on living, well, they think they're thriving on well
Right.
actuallys, and no one wants to be around them.
Right.
Like, those are the people you're like, oh, dear Lord, I don't want to be in the room with this person for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. And that's where the opposite of that is literally this point. Being loving is often better than being right. Who cares about your well, actually?
Yeah.
Just be loving. Let someone talk. It's okay.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Right. So those are two biggies we've just talked about, right? So we have a third, right? Because we have three, and so the third one here is growing young is often better than growing up. All right, we'll say it again. Growing young is often better than growing up. Now, again, we've started every single one of these. Don't hear what we're not saying. We are not saying you need to be an immature adult. Well, Eric and Michelle said to grow young, so that means to cast off responsibility and be immature. That's what thrives in good relationships.
You have to adult, and adulting sucks sometimes. We get it. We're not fans all the time. But if you're an adult, you have to be an adult.
Yep.
And you have responsibilities that you have to take on and things like that. And that's okay. Like, honestly, those are good. If you're a responsible adult, it allows you to do some of the things we're about to talk about.
100%. Yeah. You can't just be a crazy person.
No.
Yeah. You have to be an adult. So responsibilities in the right measures, it brings freedom. It brings us more opportunities to grow young, right? When we were first married, we didn't make a lot of the right choices.
Right.
We didn't do the best with finances. We were more immature. We were immature adults that made some immature choices, and it kind of put us behind the eight ball in a lot of ways to where we didn't have as much freedom. There was a lot more stress, and whenever we had a little extra money, like, we didn't spend it the right way. And so maybe we had fun for an evening, but then it was more stress afterwards, right? So like we said, don't hear what we're not saying. We're not saying that by growing young, we're saying be immature, to be irresponsible. That's not what we're saying. And in fact, the opposite. That stuff in the right measure helps to grow young. But with that, okay, what does growing young look like?
Right. Well, you think about, like, why do relationships end? And I know there's a plethora of reasons, right? But in relation to what we're talking about right now, like, why do some relationships end?
And specifically, like, some of, like, romantic ones we're talking here, right?
We stopped having fun. We fell out of love. The magic is gone. We got in this routine. There's no spark anymore. These might be a lot of things you hear someone say. And again, we understand this isn't the main reason for every relationship failing, but that plays into a lot of it for a lot of relationships, right? Like, there's this spark that we had when we first started dating is no longer there years later in marriage, right? Like, that's one of the reasons that people can give.
Right. And so start thinking, okay, well, like, why does that happen, right? Well, sometimes the responsibility of adulting, it just takes over. So you have the kids, you have the bills, you have the work, and you have all the extracurriculars and the grocery shopping and the making the dinner every night for the rest of your life. I say that, like, not that I do that, but obviously I know that's a big part of what.
Right.
All this stuff just starts happening, and you have the kids' sports and plays and musicals and band practice and all these things.
And your life is wrapped up in that. And then once the kids do leave, you look at the person sitting across the table and you're like, I don't even know you anymore because we haven't spent time continuing to get to know each other. We've poured into the little sponges that, take up all of our time and energy. And your kids should take a lot of time and your energy. You're pouring into them. What are you pouring into your significant other as well?
Right. If your relationship with your significant other is only through your kids, that's a problem.
Right.
Right. That is a problem. Like, there's A phrase you've probably heard it before. I think we may have even mentioned it before, but it's been said that, well, we stop playing because we get old.
It's not true.
It's not true. Well, we get old because we stop playing. So with your spouse, with your person you're dating with, don't stop playing. Even think with your kids, like, don't stop being goofy. Don't remember what it was like when you were a kid. Like, yes, you're an adult now. There's more responsibilities and more work, and I understand that. But don't stop playing. Don't stop being goofy. Don't stop looking at the world with, like, to use a Bob Goff term, like whimsy. Like, look at things through the eyes of your kids and be like, man, how can we make this fun, right?
Yeah. So you think about like, well, when we were dating, what did that look like? Right? Like, what did our relationship start like? What did it look like when it begun?
Right, when there was no work.
When there was no work,
Or as
no
far as, like,
kids, no.
As far as like career, right?
Right.
I think I was working at, again, shout out Circuit City. I was working at Circuit City when we started dating, right? Like, it was not a career job, right? Not that you can't have a career job at Circuit City, but like, well, you can't anymore. But,
Nope.
But before all that, like, what were we doing? Like, we were going on dates and we were having fun. And I remember, like, it really didn't matter what we did. It just was great being together.
Right.
But one thing that we were very concerned about was spending time together. And there was a deliberateness to it. Like, we would make sure, hey, like, what are we doing tomorrow? What are we doing tonight? There was a deliberateness to us spending time together. And a lot of times that ends when life
Years
gets
into
busy,
marriage,
right?
yeah.
There's this deliberate, everything is like through your kids or through this responsibility of work, or you're trying to have the big bank account or the big house or all the cars. You're trying to have all these things. And I can think even like as I don't know if it's a man thing or whatever, but like, well, I want to do all this for you. And a lot of times, like, okay, well, the wife is wanting to do all these things, maybe have a career. Well, I want to do all this stuff for our family. I want us to be able to have a vacation. And all everyone wants is like, well, I just want you.
Right.
Like, I don't care about all those things.
Yeah, I want to know that I am important to you, not all the things that you want to give me, but like, is spending time with
Right.
me, am I important to you? And so you think about, oh man, if you're still scheduling date nights, after years of marriage or years of being together, well, it's not really special at that point. You're not being spontaneous. Listen, if you're taking time out of the busyness and chaos of all the things we just talked about to purposefully schedule time to be with your significant other, that's special.
Yep.
You are putting that on a pedestal and making sure that it happens. It doesn't make it any less special. And it can be easy to start. What's hard is the continuing. I know each year we're always like, in January, we're like, oh, we really should get some date nights on the calendar and, do at least one a month. If we can do
Right.
2, that would be great. And maybe for like January, February, March, we're really good about it. But then like life gets in the way and we forget to take time to put
Right.
something on the calendar before the month even starts. And then the whole month goes by and we're like, oh, we didn't do a date night.
Right.
Oh, well, we'll get it next month. And then the next month is even crazier. And it's like, okay, you got to keep going with it though. You got to keep scheduling it. You got to keep making it a priority, because if you don't, life will get in the way.
Yep. Yeah. And so what does growing young look like? Schedule the date nights. You've got to schedule the date nights. Also, too, be spontaneous, right? Part of growing young is being spontaneous.
So you have the scheduled side of it,
Right.
but there is spontaneity that still needs to be there.
Just go and do. Like, as we were talking through this, like the example you gave, I thought it was so good, was when you were a kid and your friend was like,
Knocks on your door, rings the doorbell.
hey, you want to go ride bikes? It wasn't like, well, let me check my calendar. Let me see.
Well,
Like,
where are we going? How long are we going to be gone?
Right.
What is the radius that we're staying within, or how many miles? Like, you just say, hey, mom, dad, can I go ride bikes with little Billy?
yep, go.
And then go.
Yep. Like, I know that we live in a different world now than when we were kids, but like, there's that spontaneity of like just going and doing. Like, our kids can have a lot of that. It's one of the things I love about Autumn, who's our audio engineer, is that like her friends will call her up and be like, hey, let's go. And she'll be like, yeah, like she'll check with us. Like, hey, like we got going on, whatever. But like that spontaneity is great. Like, that's going to serve her well. Like, don't lose that as you grow up. You know, I can think about, it doesn't always have to be big things, right? Like, but I can think about like the one time that we were looking at a calendar, or that we got asked to come to New York City to go do a High Rocks event. I don't know if you've seen these High Rocks races, like they're crazy. But for us to do part of a 4-person team to do this High Rocks race in New York City.
And it was happening in 3 weeks.
3 weeks is when it was happening. We're in okay shape, right? So, but like you definitely want to, if you want to do well with these things, you want to train. And we're like, okay, like
hadn't trained specifically for
that. We have 4 kids at home, right? We both have jobs. We have grocery shop. We have all the things. We don't live in New York City.
Right.
We live
even though we're in New York. Just fun fact: we're in Western New York. New York City is a good, like, depending on traffic, 7 to 8 hour drive. Like, so just because we say we live in New York, there are other states that are closer to us than New York City.
Yeah.
It is not close at all.
Yeah, going to Canada is closer for us than New York City, just as a heads up there. So, but we were like, okay, well, like, we got to get some flights, we got to do this. But, you know, I remember, like, when I looked at you, and this was with Center. So, you know, we talked about Center before, but I was like, hey, like, Center just asked us to come to New York City and do this High Rocks race. What do you think? And you were like, when is it? I'm like, it's like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. And you were like, let's do it. We'll figure it out. Yeah. And that's exactly what we did, right? So we had 3 weeks to figure out. I'm not saying that we could always say yes to that. Right. And that's the way that you should always say yes to those things, right? But that spontaneity of like, all right, well, let's just figure it out and go. And we did, and it was life-changing.
Right. There were opportunities that came out of it that we never would have had we not just said, you know what, screw it, let's do it. Like, let's just make it happen. We ended up flying out there.
Yep.
And we took a train back because that was the cheapest way to travel, like, there and back. And that was our first time on a train. That was super cool.
We used it was the first time we used the subway in New York City.
Yeah, like a little
Talk
sketchy.
About being nervous. Yeah.
But it was fun. Like,
we were walking around Brooklyn with our phones, like, okay, we went to a certain restaurant and we were like, okay, where are we at? Where are we going? Okay. Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience we will never forget.
This person walked up to us and was like, hey, where are you guys going? And we're like, oh, should we share that? Like, I don't know. And we're like,
but she was looking for the subway too, and we all walked together, and
it was amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
New
Made
friends.
a friend. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyhow, like, be spontaneous, right? So part of growing young is balancing that. Yes, you have to be responsible, you have to be an adult, but also of being spontaneous, right? That schedule side and also that spontaneity of doing that. Growing young also means not taking yourself too seriously.
Right. It's okay to be an utter and complete goofball.
Yeah.
Just be silly. Just be quote unquote dumb. Like, just go play. Like, some of our most fun and memorable date nights are not typical date night activities. Like,
right.
We've gone, and just the two of us, not with our kids, we've gone and played laser tag. And we have slaughtered all the other kids that are running around with our laser guns. Like, we crush it. Yeah. And it's amazing. And, you know, it's a
kids
great...
have no strategy. That's why.
Strategy. We are on it. But it's a lot of fun. And especially, like, when we've been put on opposite teams and things like that. And it's like, I don't care about anybody else in the room. I'm going to get my husband.
Well, we did. So laser tag also has like an arcade in it and things like that. So I remember that, like, I think it was like you and I each got like a $20 card, like just a card to use there for whatever. We did a bunch of things. Laser tag was one of them. And then at the end we had like $7 in credits worth, and we couldn't really play any games there as far as like big games. So
we used it at the arcade.
We went to the arcade and we owned the Terminator game. We had these guns, and so I'm in one spot, she's in the other, and all of a sudden, like, all these kids kind of start gathering around us as we're like playing this Terminator game. And every time we die, we just would swipe our card again. We're like, we're going to keep
again.
going.
Yeah. And these kids were like, oh my gosh, you guys are really good at this. Yeah. And we were like, oh, we have fans. This is awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah.
And at the same time, walking through the arcade, watching all these parents, like, who just look so stressed and so, like, trying to chase their kids. And we're like, sucks to be you. We've been there before. And we're just there carefree doing whatever we want to actually do. Now, I get it. Sometimes you're the stressed parent. Like I said, we've been there. But how much fun to go with your significant other and just have not a care in the world and enjoy some of the things you did as a kid or with your kids, but just the two of you.
Yeah.
Like it can be so much fun.
It was awesome. Like it was awesome. We try to find other things like that to do. And sometimes we do the more like, adulty things like go to a nice restaurant or whatever. And that's fun too,
yeah.
right?
Oh, absolutely.
But just don't be afraid to be goofy and be dumb. And when you're wrong or you make a mistake, this is just kind of in general, like laugh.
Yeah.
Don't defend. Newsflash, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah. We are all wrong at some point or another.
Yep.
There is no one who's always right. If they say it, that steer clear.
Right. And when you do, like, don't defend. Don't be, just laugh. Oh yeah, that was dumb.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. So like that's okay. So like when you're wrong, making mistakes, like don't take yourself too seriously. Like keep the fun, the laughter, like the goofiness in life. Like it'll serve you so well. That's what we mean by growing young, right? So our three things, I'm going to go back here and make sure I say it right. So our three things, right? 3 elements that will immediately up-level any relationship. 1, hearing is often better than being heard. Number 2.
Loving is often better than being right.
And number 3, growing young is often better than growing up. Implement those 3 things that we talked about, up-level any relationship. But we come to the point of our podcast where we talk about our rudimentary ritual, right? So our rudimentary ritual, it kind of you can probably guess what it's going to be. Monthly date night.
Monthly date night. At least one a month.
Monthly date night, one a month. Schedule it.
Yeah.
Schedule it. Like I'm talking to us too. Schedule
right.
it. So one of the things that we're going to use this year that we just got that we've never used it before is this thing by Jesse Itzler called the Big Ass Calendar. And it is literally like, I'm looking at it right here in our room. It is a giant wall-sized calendar that has all of 2026 on it from January through December. Every day of the year is on there. And so you can see the whole year at a snapshot. And so you can write down all 12, if you do one a month, all 12 date nights right now and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. And then that day's blocked off.
Right. Maybe you don't know exactly what you're doing that night yet, and that's okay. But just, hey, this looks like this should be a good day that works. Let's put it on there. And other than someone's in the hospital, you make sure those happen.
Right.
Right.
Yep. They're blocked off. Hey, you guys want to go to a movie? Nope. I have a date night. Oh, you want? Nope, I can't. We have this. And you block it off and you protect it like you would anything else. So
we are going to be doing that this year as well.
Yes.
We encourage you to do the same. It's something you won't regret.
Right.
You won't look back and be like, dang, I wish we wouldn't have spent those, 12 days on date nights.
Yeah. So start with March, right? Because we're in February now. Or start one at the end of February, even a day. Maybe you just had Valentine's Day, so you just did one in February, whatever. And again, you can do more than one. But starting with March, do one a month for the rest of the year. Schedule it out there. We will, in the show notes, put a link to the Big Ass Calendar with a discount. I think it's like 15% off, maybe 20% off. The entire website, they have more things than just the calendar, but we'll put a link to that in the show notes. Go save some money on yours, and so you can get that done too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing we share every episode is our recipe. So we wanted to share something because every date night doesn't have to be this big, expensive, luxurious thing. Like some of our date nights have been a walk in the park,
Picnic.
a picnic. Yeah. Like you do what you got to do with whatever finances make sense to do. So we wanted to share a recipe that for us is a little bit like next level cooking. Mm-hmm. It's not difficult to make, but it just feels fancy. So that if you wanted to have a dinner in just the two of you, that this is something you can do. But it's Zuppa Tuscana. It's
so
a soup.
Good. With homemade bread.
With homemade bread. Yes, obviously you have to have the homemade bread. Yeah. It's one that when I found the recipe is a copycat recipe, Olive Garden. Typically you get your soup salad breadsticks, right? They serve this Zuppa Tuscana. It's a potato and sausage and kale, and it's very hearty.
Creamy, delicious, but it's not super thick though.
It's not heavy.
Right.
But it's very, very good. I started making this copycat recipe, and I think we went back to Olive Garden a while later, where after we had been having this, multiple times, and I think it was our whole family actually went, and you and the kids actually all said, they're like, so our recipe is better than Olive
Way
Garden's.
better. No
Like,
hate to Olive Garden.
no,
but
no
way
hate,
better.
but like it was better than the original. And so we're gonna share that recipe with you. Again, it feels fancy, but it's not difficult. It's very easy to make. It's one that even all of our kids, even when they were younger, liked. You think, oh, kale and soup, like, yeah, my kid's not
And
gonna
you can
eat
make
that.
it as spicy or non-spicy
Right.
as you want with chili peppers and things like that.
All the
So,
things.
yeah.
But it's a really good, easy soup that feels fancy.
Yeah, so that'll be on our website. We'll also put a link right to it in the show notes as well. But obviously, if you go to rudimentarylife.com to our recipes tab, it'll be there along with a bunch of other incredible recipes.
Yep, and recipe for homemade bread.
Yeah.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, so that's it. We definitely hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you found something valuable that you can implement, that you can use to improve you and your family's life.
Yep.
If so, let us know. I can't overstate how important it is just to let us know. We want to know what is helpful, what has been helpful, what hasn't been. And also, too, please share it out. Like, something that's super helpful for us as we're trying to grow as a podcast is subscribers. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Follow us, share it out.
Share it with someone who you think would benefit from it as well. And we hope that's everyone.
Right.
But yeah, that would be amazing. We do, as we always say, we have so much more coming,
Yes.
so many more topics we want to talk with you guys about.
We will be having guests. This is 2026. We're starting to schedule guests. It's going to be mind-blowing. We have some great guests scheduled, so we're excited about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so guys, thanks for listening. Make it a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. If you want more of Eric and Michelle Hall and TRL Radio in your life, and honestly, who doesn't, head over to theRudimentaryLife.com.
There, you'll be able to find all the things, show notes, videos, step-by-step instructions for each recipe, more ways to connect with us and join in with whatever shenanigans we're getting into.
Yeah, and for extra credit, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app. We definitely appreciate all the love.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.